Okay. So last month, I came here and I gave homework.
Yes.
You did
a whole video.
Yeah, so today I won't go to the board.
Okay.
I'm giving homework.
Yes.
If you watched,
go and watch back.
Go and watch back. If you watched, and this is on the premise of what I said last month, there were two statements I made. The City's high press, you see, their high line, usually they pressed very effectively and they had control of the ball. So they kept possession most of the time. They picked the right passes. They dictated the tempo of the game. And when they lost the ball, they were so effective in their counter press. They will quickly win it back. They will not give you time to think to be able to exploit the space in behind them. Okay. But this time around, they are not pressing as effectively. And the high line still exists. So teams are now committing more numbers in transition. Teams, and they're technically good teams. Teams like Brighton, like Fulham with this season with Marco Silva, who have players to play in between the press or play around the press. That's exactly what teams are doing. I showed examples from the Newcastle game. I showed examples from the Fulham game in how teams are beginning to exploit Man City. And yes, maybe at the time, now I was very convinced, but I understand the sentiments around during that time. Oh yeah, it was a bit too early. But everything I said in that submission is what is playing out. If you watch the Sporting Lisbon game, the second goal was a prime example of what I'm talking about. Sporting Lisbon took their time and played around the Man City press. You remember the goal where they dragged City to the line, then played it through pass. Gokeres went and he went to score. You look at the Brighton game yesterday, and not just the goals. Almost every chance Brighton created was a ball hit in behind the City line, and they were targeting Kyle Walker. I told you, when I showed you the examples of the game between Fulham and Man City, that thing where Kyle Walker had the pace to go in behind and recover, his pace is going down. And it's like teams have realized that he's not as good dealing with balls.
Thanks to Adama Traore.
Adama.
He exposed him.
Yesterday, we saw it on countless occasions where Brighton were hitting the ball in between Kyle Walker and then the Man City said the right centre-back. Yeah. Constantly hitting it in between. And what they did was, Mitoma had drawn very wide. So they caught Walker in two minds. If Walker decides to mark him one-on-one, he's leaving a huge gap in between himself and the centre-back, which will allow more bodies.
Yes. And
the Brighton manager planted Joao Pedro when he came, or in the first half. You see Welbeck occupying the space between Kyle Walker and then the centre-back. So Kyle Walker is caught on his left. There's a centre-forward who's making...
Are you coming to
exactly, and he was making a diagonal run. Their starting position was diagonal. Yeah. So you know Kyle Walker knows he's going towards his centre-back. But if he decides to focus on his man, he'll be creating more space for the attacker to be able to isolate the centre-back one-on-one. And if you notice, the centre-back yesterday, that kid, you know, the small boy.
What's his name? The
Brighton.
No, the Man City.
The small boy they played.
Exactly. Now, when you're a senior man on the pitch, it is your responsibility to take care of it.
Control,
Exactly. So, Kyle Walker is now caught in two minds. Throughout the entire game, should he follow this Brighton centre forward in Welbeck or Joao Pedro, who is making that diagonal run, going at the centre-back, or he should focus on Mitoma, who is drawn really wide? And at times, Mitoma will also come in, and then Estupinian will give the width. And now there were two players in between the Man City, and they constantly were hitting the balls towards Kyle Walker and that centre-back. Long ball, long ball. Thank you.
Simpson Poussey.
What's his name again?
Simpson Poussey.
Poussey.
Top guy.
Simpson
Poussey.
Yes.
Simpson Poussey is a dash.
It's a hyphenated name.
This guy.
Yes. And it is only one S.
Yeah, Poussey.
And E-Y.
Orange is the new black. There was some girl we called Poussey inside, so I know the name.
Okay. You are familiar with the name.
No.
I don't want you to slip.
No, I'm not built like that. So the balls were consistently going very diagonal in between the space left by, in fact, the space between Kyle Walker and that centre-back. And that's how Brighton scored their goals. In fact, there were chances, a chunk of chances they created through that. And I told you guys, look, Ederson is not the goalkeeper who is going to all of a sudden outperform himself. If Man City are creating big or conceding big chances like that, it's only a matter of time teams will start taking them.
And that's what's happening.
And you look at look, Brighton missed very good opportunities. Very good opportunities. You look at the Sporting Lisbon game. It was like 4 big chances, 4 goals.
Yes.
They are clinical. Gokeres, he will score you. He will not. And you see, modern day football, Premier League, every team is threatening. And when teams see the templates, it is very difficult for you to now, when they see the template and they decide to go at it, teams learn really quick. And that's what we are seeing. Now, the reason why I also don't think that Man City can turn it around quickly. Look, every season this thing happens where City, they are not as bad in the first half, though, but we always know that in the second half, Pep will do something and he always has the personnel, he always has the tools to be able to turn it around. But this time around, it's not about tactics. It's about the principles not working. I hope you guys get the difference. It's not about him playing 4-2-3-1 or what. It's about the principle of City not keeping the ball well enough. And that engine who does it for him is Rodri, and Rodri is not around.
For a long time, he'll be out.
Yes, Kovacic can never do that job as well as Rodri. It's not going to happen like that. Sadly for him also, I don't know what is going on with John Stones and his injury issues. But John Stones is not the sort of player who, the way the injury issues are, and even if he plays in midfield, he thrived because he was playing alongside Rodri. That is difficult. Again, the press is not as effective. And maybe if they can fix that, it may reduce the chances that they are conceding. But when you look at the number of bodies that teams are committing and how technically gifted most of these opposition teams are, or the teams in the Premier League are, and how smart the managers are, I don't think Man City can recover just like that. Look, they'll obviously get better.
So that's why you think they will not win.
Yeah, they'll get better, but...
Yeah. And teams are taking advantage of the big space that exists
between...
Inside Sim Pussy. That's the problem. The space is too big.
I'm serious. Hey. Of all the things I said, though, is this one that the big space between Sim Pussy and...
Yes. Is that... when he wants to close, it's not close.
Hey, take your chair. Maybe it's 10 p.m. after hours.
Switch off.
Kids are watching.
Kids
like the show.
Wait. Are you arguing that the Sim Pussy space is not... It's not wide.
It's not a matter of his space. It's a matter of the team.
He said the space between...
space.
The space between him and Walker is the problem.
When I was talking, I didn't even mention the boy's name.
Oh, bro.
I said Walker and then the young guy.
I want to find his name.
Find the guy's name.